Concrete is one of the most used materials in the field of construction, and due to its versatility of uses and applications, it is chosen as very competitive material in the market. It is important to understand that due to this high amount of consumption there is a very high degree of waste, due to some factors, such as a poor quality, supervision in the plant during production, dosage, etc. Since there is a significant difference between the quantity delivered and requested. This type of practice generates large contents of waste, and not only material, but also involves other types of waste, such as higher fuel consumption in transportation, production energy, storage space, increased general costs and sale, etc., generating negative impacts on the environment during the use of concrete. Another important aspect for which this type of waste exists in the field of concrete construction is the scarcity of qualified personnel to be able to optimize mixed techniques and achieve the best use of the material available. Based on studies carried out in Mexico, concrete waste can vary from 0.75 to 25%, and the values estimated in the literature are 5%, having a strong impact on material consumption. Due to that, not all the concrete products will be placed. In the metropolitan area of Monterrey, around 50 to 80 micrograms per cubic meter per day are PM10 particles, which are directly related to the mining of quarries to obtain aggregate and manufacture cement.
In Nuevo León, there are 115 companies that produce industrial quantities of concrete that vary according to the specifications required in each project. Concrete is made up of ascertained mountains of cement. This material was manufactured goes through a process that causes approximately 8% of carbon oxide in the world, revealing a significant carbon footprint. If the cement industry were a one country, it would be the third largest emitter in the world behind China and the US. Contemplating the previously mentioned aspect that cause waste and poor use, such as the excessive explosion of aggregate, cement, and water, this begin an abuse against nature and ecology. For this reason, important aspects such as the knowledge and correct execution of tests in the plants will improve quality control. There is a wide variety of applied tests that can be useful to avoid this type of problem. For example, quality tests on materials, also considering the evaluation in the manufacture of concrete, and a correct supervision during its manufacturing and installation process. Based on studies, up of the 15% dimensions greater than those specified in the plans have been found. Today, there are standards that give the manufacturer to meet the specification both to create the concrete and the damaged environment as a little possible, such as the NOM and MX, which deregulated the characteristics of concrete in fresh and hardened state, of factors such as a compressive strength, air content, and different specifications necessary for the manufacture of concrete.
It is necessary to consider that, in order to solve these problems in the area of concrete construction, it is required that engineers have adequate education from their training and development, with all kinds of certifications and evaluations that guide and focus them in this area of construction industry in order to attack the problem and its origin. It is important that engineers' information and those who are already practicing their profession have the ability to identify the typical problems that arise, starting with the aspect of quality development, both supervision and placement, in addition to good management and control of personnel, including the skills developed during the training implemented by certifications and courses that are endorsed by national or international entities. Currently, the field of concrete construction faces a shortage of qualified personnel, such as engineers who ignore the problems in order to obtain only the final results, regardless of the waste during the development of their work, being an incorrect aspect that is not taken into account, because there are no institutions that really sanction those who are responsible for said mistake made in the field.
One of the solutions that can reduce the environment impact with respect to cement consumption is the mandatory use of pozzolans to replace cement in already mixed concrete mix designs. This has various advantages in addition to preventing excess raw material waste, such as improving the durability and hardening the concrete and improving the useful life of structures, since construction can be reduced in terms of material for maintenance and or remodeling due to deterioration to poor quality standards. For this reason, improvement is proposed in this aspect mentioned, which promote more sustainable practice and will help reduce waste production, and that at a local or state level might not be very impactful. However, this type of practice, national or international level, they will generate not only improvements in the production sectors, also in the environment and public health uses, they have a positive impact.